Hello, welcome to Michelle Reads Books. And today we are talking about the 8th book in the Oz series called Tik-Tok of Oz. As usual, for dramatic irony purposes, I'm sure, L. Frank Baum does not uh, introduce the character of the title until far into the book. This one's not quite as far as some of the others, but I think it's in chapter like 6 or something like that. Anyway, let's take a look at the summary and then I'll give you my opinion. Queen Anne So Forth of Oogaboo, yes, really, decides to raise an army to conquer Oz and assigns nearly all the men in the kingdom to be in the army. Meanwhile, Betsy Bobbin and her mule Hank wash ashore after a storm. They first go to a greenhouse called the Rose Kingdom, but the Roses tell her that no strangers are allowed and are getting ready to sentence them when the Shaggy Man falls through the greenhouse roof. Because of the love magnet, the Roses decide to be merciful to the Shaggy Man, and he is able to protect Betsy and Hank. They leave, taking Rose Princess Ozga with them, because she had been rejected by them and is Ozma's cousin. The Shaggy Man tells them that Ozma had sent him there using her magic belt because he was looking for his brother, who they believe had been captured by the Gnome King Ruggedo. They meet Polychrome, the Rainbow's daughter, on their journey, and she joins them. They also look into a well and discover Tik-Tok at the bottom. They pull him up and wind him up, and he explains that Ruggedo had tossed him down there. He also joins their group, and they happen to meet Queen Anne and her army, who had been sent to Ev by Glinda, who wanted to protect Oz. She threatens the group, but eventually wants the gems found in the Gnome Kingdom and assigns Tik-Tok as a private in her army. Ruggedo sees them coming and decides to try to stop them from reaching his kingdom. First, he leads them through rubber country, where they bounce around for a bit, eventually getting through it. Then Ruggedo has them fall through the hollow tube that leads to the other side of the earth, although the king is warned not to do this because he had promised not to allow anyone to go through the tube. On the other side of the tube, they land in a place ruled by the great Jin named Tititi-Hoo-Choo. Yes, really. The people are often invisible, but they can choose to show themselves. They are first threatened with punishment, but when they explain that they didn't choose to go through the tube, Tititi-Hoo-Choo decides to punish Ruggedo instead. He sends a young dragon back with them named Quox to punish Ruggedo, setting up seats for all to ride on his back on the way back. Quox has a ribbon around his neck that causes Ruggedo to forget all the magic he knew. He also has several eggs in a container around his neck. Eggs are poisonous to gnomes, so he uses both of these to take away Ruggedo's magic and confine him on the Earth's surface. They set up Calico, Ruggedo's chief steward, as the new Gnome King. The new king promises to help them find the Shaggy Man's brother, who is in the Metal Forest. The brother is cursed with ugliness by Ruggedo. They try to convince him to come out of his home, but he refuses because of how ugly he is. They discover that a kiss from an enchanted being will break the curse. The only enchanted being in the group is Polychrome. She agrees to kiss him, and the curse is broken. There is a celebration banquet in the Gnome Kingdom, and Ruggedo wants to return to the Underground Kingdom as a citizen. After they leave the Underground Kingdom, Polychrome is able to return to the Rainbow. Queen Anne has also decided to quit her quest to take over the world because it was too difficult. Ozma uses her magic belt to send Queen Anne and her army back home. The Shaggy Man isn't sure he wants to return because he doesn't want to leave his brother behind. Ozma agrees to welcome the Shaggy Man's brother, Betsy Bobbin, and Hank into Oz. So, what do I think of this book? It's very whimsical and very sweet. It's a children's book. Obviously, children will love it because it is very fast-paced and just kind of all over the place, a little ADHD-ish, you know? But it is very creative, and I think that it's really fun to read. So, if you want a fun children's book, fast-paced, and that has a lot of twists and turns, this is absolutely a book for you, so I can highly recommend it. Let me know your opinion in the comments below, and happy reading.